Tiger fans, the round 19 injury report has now been released by the club, so let's take a quick look at it and go through it all bit by bit. There's a couple of really interesting selections this week. So Harry Armstrong is available. Harry's doing really well and got through everything this week, Serpil said. Happy to say he's available this weekend. And Jasper Alger ankle is also available. They re-scanned Jasper's ankle last week after the injury report and realised it wasn't as severe as they first thought, which is obviously fantastic news. And happy to say he's pulled through training last week and is available for selection this week. Now, the reason why I say these two are very interesting is there's no VFL this week for Richmond. So they've got the week off. So the only possible selection they can be available for is AFL selection. Now, Harry Armstrong, this is what, 14 weeks, 15 weeks, something like that. And I would be honestly shocked if we rolled rolling the dice, that's not the right word. I shouldn't have said that. It's not rolling the dice. I'd be surprised if we opted to put him back through at AFL level first. Now, I'm sure he's ticked a ton of boxes in terms of his fitness, his recovery, and all that kind of stuff. And he was just an illness for the last couple of weeks. So that's why he wasn't playing. It was nothing related to the hamstring at all. But the non-VFL part makes this a really compelling and interesting proposition because we've obviously got Kosicki up forward at the moment. There's a bit of a makeshift forward to try and help a bigger body presence down there. The question kind of becomes, can we get, or do we get any more out of Harry Armstrong down there playing that role than Cozzy? Will he be able to compete in the air as hard as Cozzy? Will he have more impact on the game than what Cozzy does? And can he get through 4 quarters doing it? If the answer is yes to most or all of those, maybe it's worth consideration. I mean, personally, I would maybe go on the side of caution and wait for a VFL game or two for Harry just to make sure everything's all okay. We've obviously seen some other things gone wrong in the past, not because they were rushed, but do we just want to make sure, or are we happy to back in the longer recovery and just get him in if he's ready to go? Do we get more out of that? I'm not sure. And same with Jasper Alger. He's obviously spent a little bit less time out, so I'm probably more okay with him coming straight back in because it's less time on the sidelines, and the type of injuries are obviously very different to a soft tissue injury. So I can see a world in which Jasper comes back in. Who he comes in for, I don't know. We'll have to get to that a bit later on. But those two were a very interesting starting point for the injury report. We move down to Josh Smiley, conditioning, 1 to 2 weeks. Josh is going all right at the moment. I don't like that word. There's no VFL game this week, as we mentioned. We would like to bring him back through the VFL. We're still going to list him as 1 to 2 weeks just to make sure he gets the opportunity to get football exposure. Still a little way off, but progressing well now. I mean, it doesn't fill me with a great amount of confidence if I'm being completely honest. It's nearly getting to the point where 2025 is a write-off for Smiley in terms of AFL games because they're going to want to see a stretch of VFL form, and he's still got to get into good enough conditioning shape to play that. So I'm not sure what's going on. I'm not sure if there was an illness or what was happening. But this seems to have slowed down quite a bit compared to the progress from a few weeks ago. And I don't really know what to make of it. We just want to see him out there playing football, but in an okay manner, like with a fully functioning body. So if it means we've got to wait, we've got to wait. But yeah, not filling me with confidence at the moment, the way that one's worded. Kane McAuliffe, quad, 1 to 2 weeks. Kane's doing well with the rehab. As per Smiley, there's no VFL game, so even if they wanted to bring him back to the VFL this week, they obviously couldn't, so he gets a full free week off in some ways, and it's probably best if we say that he's 1 to 2 weeks away, and we'll see how he progresses. McKelty Lafau, calf, 2 to 4 weeks. McKelty's doing well, Serpil said. He's getting through all the rehab, and he's happy to bring his return to play forward another week. He's about 2 to 4 weeks away now. Obviously, again, no VFL. And Liam Fawcett, foot, 4 to 6 weeks. Liam's doing well out of the moon boot now and walking around, which is obviously a good sign. We'll start to progress him a little bit this week and hopefully running towards the end of next week, and they can comfortably say he's 4 to 6 weeks away. So, I mean, it's probably a stretch to think that Liam Fawcett will play AFL football again this year, but you would definitely like to think that he's going to get another couple of VFL games in, given that we're at round 17 this week for the VFL. And McKelty Lafau will almost certainly play VFL again at some point this year, with a genuine chance to play AFL again, I think, as well this year. And Kane McAuliffe, 1 to 2 weeks. I'd really love to see him back in the AFL program. Maybe not straight away. I do think he'll have to do some VFL game time as well, but he was doing really well prior to going down, so hopefully he can make it back out there too. Thompson Dow, 2 to 5 weeks. Dow's not made any progress. So they're not going to bring his return date forward at all. This is not playing out well for Thompson Dow, especially with no news on the contract front either. Campbell Gray, I did hear whispers that he had not gone well with this test, but I didn't realise it was this bad. So Campbell Gray's now listed back at 6 to 8 weeks. So Campbell Gray's test didn't go too well last week, and unfortunately it has set him back a little bit. We're looking at him for another 6 to 8 weeks. That's a cruel blow to Campbell Gray. We almost certainly won't see him at AFL level, and it's getting very close to not even seeing him at VFL level, and nearly to the point of just wrap him up and put him away for next year. But VFL is still obviously a chance to play finals as well, so that plays a bit of a calculation too, so you've got to consider that part. But yeah, that's shit news for Campbell Gray. Samson Ryan, foot TBC. He started to do some overground running now without any adverse reactions. However, they're hoping to increase the load over the next couple of weeks. So we don't really know when we're going to see him back out there. And Sam Lawler, hamstring, obviously the season. So they've consulted a few surgeons for Sammy's case, and there's a fairly strong consensus that surgery was required for him, which I think we all felt was going to be the way it was going to unfold. After 3 injuries to the same side over the last 12 months, it was clear that it was unlikely the hamstring was going to heal in that spot. He'll undergo surgery this week, and we'll look forward to hopefully having a quick recovery and get most of pre-season done. So obviously we wish Sam Lawler all the best for the hamstring surgery, but it seems to make the absolute most sense to do that given the nature of the injury, and just how innocuous, well, yeah, the mechanics in which it went and the repetitive nature of the hamstring. So, look, we've seen plenty of players come back with success from these types of things. So it's definitely not doom and gloom. It's just take your time, get the surgery done, get the recovery in, and pre-season kicks off mid-November, let's call it. So, still a long time to go before that rolls around, so we'll just have to make sure he's right to go for there. But there you go. That is the injury report for round 19. Fascinating selection this week when it comes to Alger and Armstrong. They could be very well in the mix. But yeah, let us know what you all think in the comments below. What do we think where Josh Smiley's at in particular? I'm probably most keen to hear where we're thinking we're at with him. It just doesn't seem like it's going as well as we would have hoped. But hopefully we can get some VFL game into him and see him next year. But yeah, keen to hear all of your thoughts. Let us know. And remember, we are live for the Monday night weekly show. So yeah, make sure you come by at 8:30 p.m. And until next time, go Tigers.